Welcome to the Hidden Why Podcast, episode 1053. Today, my interview with Max Newlon. We're discussing brain neurology and how wearables are helping us improve focus and calmness. Enjoy. Hey, Max, welcome to the Hidden Why Podcast. Great to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hopefully the sound's good today. We've had a few tech issues lately, but you hear us all right there?
Yeah, yep. I can. Sounds
Whereabouts are you, mate?
I'm in Boston.
Boston, okay. So tell us a little bit of your backstory about yourself.
Sure. So I'm the president of BrainCo USA, which is a brain-computer interface company that's got started in the Harvard Innovation Lab. And I joined the company 6 years ago as a research scientist because before BrainCo, my vision for myself was to be a researcher, to understand how the brain worked and how different contemplative practices affect the brain. And that's largely work I did as a research coordinator in different hospitals, and got exposed to a bunch of really interesting contemplative practices, yoga, meditation, different leadership development practices. And the reason why I took that angle was I've always been interested in human development. I think that stems from my background in martial arts and the importance of the mental game in martial arts. Wow. And when I found BrainCo, I saw this kind of convergence of my interests in human development, human potential, the brain, and our ability to enhance the different mental capabilities that we all inherently have.
Yeah, okay. So you're a martial artist?
I was. I was from when I was 6 to about 18.
Yeah. Okay. What practice?
I started with Kempo karate. And then I also studied Southern Praying Mantis Kung Fu.
Right.
And got exposure to a few different styles from those two main teachers.
Okay. And why did you stop the practice?
I had reached a point in my late adolescence where I was looking to kind of redefine the perspective I had on where I wanted to take my life. And for so long, martial arts was the core part of who I was. And I needed a little separation from that in order to discover the next phase. So it was as I was going to undergraduate, as I was going to college, that I made that transition.
Yeah, okay. Put your energy into something else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So talk to us about brain and development. I mean, is it neuroscience that you sort of study there? Or is it more higher level than that?
No. So I studied cognitive science at the University of Connecticut, and then human development and psychology at Harvard, and was always drawn towards this interdisciplinary approach to things. So cognitive science combines linguistics, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, anthropology, sociology, psychology. And that kind of wet my whistle as it related to putting interesting things together in unique ways to create better understanding. And that's kind of what we've done at the company as well, is pull together different approaches to understanding the brain and training the brain, and created a platform so that people can get the best of what's out there.
Yeah. It must be a fairly hard area to study, the brain, yeah?
Yeah. There have been certain leaps in progress that have enabled better understanding of the brain, but there are some interesting analogies that kind of put into context what we understand and what we don't understand. I forget which professor gave the analogy. I'm probably going to screw up the analogy too, but I think you'll get the gist. He was saying if understanding the brain was a 1 mile long track, we are about 2 inches down that track. It's just a fascinatingly complex organ that we have such little understanding of. So, what I focus on and what the team focuses on is using what we do know. And that's kind of interesting too. Like, even though we don't understand so much of the brain. We still understand enough of the brain and of the related types of brain training that you can do to have a positive effect. So even though we can't see the full picture, there's still ways that we can have a positive impact on people's lives.
So what's the real focus of the study here, and I guess the focus of BrainCo, is it to help people enhance their experience in life through practices that, enhance the brain functioning?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. We develop all different types of brain-computer interface technology, and the one that's most relevant for everyday use is a platform called FocusCalm, which is a headband. It looks like a normal headband, and it has sensors on it that detect your brain activity and can quantify how calm and focused you are, and then also provides training through our mobile app on your iPhone or your Android to teach you and train you how to calm and focus your mind. And you can see your brain activity changing in real time as you do these practices, as you do these different games that we have. You can see your progress and get better at these things.
So does it show you the brain, or does it just show you sort of based on the sensors what the activity's like?
Yeah, more of the second. It's a composite score that's most akin to your cognitive workload. So how busy does your brain look like on a scale from 0 to 100? And you can see that number change. And as you do breathing practices or meditation or these different games, you can see that score change.
So I guess it probably shows you some real averages now. I mean, how widely used is this platform so far? Or how long has it been around for first of all?
Yeah, so the inspiration for this platform started way back when the headband we were using was more as a research tool to understand the brain. Yeah. And we partnered with an organization that trains Formula One race car drivers to be calm under pressure. And they started using our technology. And that was back in 2019. Okay. And then at the beginning of 2020, they'd been using it and getting great results. At the beginning of 2020, we were thinking about how we wanted to bring a solution to more people. And we were thinking about all these different applications. And there were two big inspirations. One was stress and the impact stress has on people's lives. And then we thought to ourselves, well, wait a minute. These F1 drivers, they're not like everyone else, certainly, but they are masters of dealing with incredibly high pressure situations. I wonder if we can take some of those principles and that brain training that they've been doing and bring it to more people. And that was one of the first inspirations for FocusCalm. Now, we also ran right into the pandemic, which was really stressful, and had us kind of thinking through how we can help more people. But since then, we've been able to work with Olympic teams, with professional sports teams, with people who have high stress jobs, with meditators who want to understand their brains better, to people who have no background in neuroscience whatsoever, but just want a tool to get to understand their brain better and learn different skills so that they can be more calm and more focused. Whether you are a truck driver or a professor of law, and we have users from all walks of life who are training their brains to be more focused and calm.
Yeah, well, yeah. How does the device actually detect brain activity? Can you sort of walk us through that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we're using EEG, which is an acronym for electroencephalography, and it's the measure of the electrical activity of your brain. If anyone's ever seen a picture of someone with a bunch of wires coming off their scalp, that may have been used in a sleep study, or if someone has epilepsy to study the electrical activity of the brain. It's a really commonly used technology for past 100 years, basically, to understand brain activity. It's like a heart rate monitor for your brain. So it's a passive measurement. Nothing is going into your brain. In fact, the electrical activity of your brain is constantly present on your scalp and your forehead. Even right now, there's these subtle electrical signals that make their way from your brain that are detectable on your scalp. Again, kind of like a heart rate. And the sensors pick up that signal.
Okay. So it's got multiple sensors on that headband that detects the activity of the brain.
Exactly.
Is there like average measurements that you've got now? I mean, I guess if you're dealing with high performing athletes and F1 drivers and things like that, it might be a little bit skewed. But I mean, for the everyday person, is the average expectations about brain activity and what you'd expect?
Yeah, yeah. We built the model for a wide audience, a universal model of cognitive workload. If you have experience with meditation, you tend to be able to control your brain better, and you can see that in your FocusCalm score. But the FocusCalm score works for everyone, and the different types of training we have. Some are easier, some are more difficult, so you can challenge your ability to stay calm under pressure. So even if you are high performance athlete or meditator supreme, you're still going to be able to find content and experiences and training that fits where you're at.
So is it a sort of measurement from 1 to 100 or something like that
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. 100 means you look super zen, and 0 means your mind looks very, very busy. It's doing a lot of processing, and it probably indicates some level of stress.
So for someone to walk into this, where would you expect them to fall immediately for most people?
You turn the headband on, you fire up the FocusCalm app. You're typically around 50. If you're having a normal conversation, you're probably 40 to 60. If you start really thinking about something difficult, or like you're answering emails and you're kind of getting a little tense, a little stressed, your score will probably drop down to the 30s or 20s. Or if you just take a moment to relax, take a deep breath and calm your mind, and maybe do a meditation practice, or even just relax a little, your score will pop up into the 70s or 80s. And with practice, you can get into the 90s and even all the way to 100.
Yeah, right. Okay. And I guess in certain situations where we are, really problem solving or working on something difficult, we'd expect that to be the case with more activity. But I mean, is the advantage to know that when, hey, it's too much, use some of these practices to bring it back to a level that's manageable?
That's exactly it. Like a low score isn't bad. It just means your brain's active, and your brain should be active, like really much more active during certain things. The idea, though, is exactly as you put it. It's don't burn out. Don't use too much of your mental resources when you don't have to. And the score can be a reminder to stay in the pocket, stay in the zone, and what we call be efficient, mentally efficient. And the programs in the app will train you and teach you how to be efficient. So at the end of the day, you're not totally spent. You're actually been able to spend more time in flow, more time in this focus and calm state, so that you can do your tasks. Right? That's really what we're about. It's not about just sitting on a meditation cushion and zenning out, which is like wonderful and very good. But our perspective is we want to train people to be able to stay calm and focused, even when they need to be on, when they need to be using their executive functions. Like there are executive function training in the app for your working memory, decision-making, processing speed, pattern recognition, things that you're doing during work and throughout your life. And we help people transfer the skill of being focused and calm into those scenarios, so that when they meet them in the world, in their day-to-day life, they're not overwhelmed. They have the ability to stay cool and calm, even when they need to be on.
Yeah, okay. Because it's not just about the calm side of things, but it's about improving focus too, I suppose.
Yeah. There are meditation techniques out there that help people calm down, and some people will use those apps, while they have the headband on, so they can see what their brain looks like during their meditations. But life is more complex than that, and the brain's more complex than that. And so we believe that our solution needs to be more complex than that, in a good way, in the sense that we can help people train all different parts of your brain's abilities, not just the ability to be calm.
Okay, so with this focus, I mean, obviously meditation is one of those tools that we can use to calm the brain. Is there particular styles of meditation that you guys recommend or have found that are most effective?
We partner with, or let me back up for a second. Everyone's brain is different. Yeah. Everyone's brain responds to different things, just like exercise. Some people love yoga, some people love lifting weights, some people love running, and other people really don't like, one of those three. And so what we've done is provided all different types of this type of mental skills development, whether that's through meditation. We have a variety of awesome meditation teachers who have targeted lessons about dealing with distraction, winding down after a long day, dealing with burnout, trying to get immediate relief. All these different kind of scenarios that people find themselves in. The meditation teachers will give different techniques so you can find what works for you. But then we also have sports psychologists and breathing experts for these different practices that you can find what helps you calm your brain down.
Yeah. So that's sort of the calming side of the process. What about brain training as far as improving cognitive functioning and things like that?
Yeah. So there's no evidence that, actually, let me take that back. There's some emerging evidence right now. I just saw some posts about this week about how different types of cognitive training may influence different neurodegenerative disease progression, which is very exciting. But our position is these brain games that maybe people are familiar with, different concentration games or memory games. They're a good way to tax the brain and to challenge you to be calm under pressure. So our process is called Learn, Practice, Challenge. You learn how to calm your brain, you practice calming it down, and then you challenge yourself to be calm under pressure. And that challenge step is when we have these brain games where you need to perform your best while simultaneously remaining calm. So that's the focus side. And to kind of put a bow on this, it's like I don't know if you've ever found certain meditation techniques or certain practices that jive better with you. But that discovery is like one of the most important aha moments when you put the headband on and you try a few different things, a few different meditations, and you can literally see what your brain is responding to. It's really eye-opening to know, this is what works for me, and here's the data to validate it.
That's interesting, yeah, because I've tried a lot of different meditation practices, and I always think switching things up is always powerful anyway. So you don't become complacent, but potentially it's just a search for the right one. So that's quite interesting that you can use the app to discover which is going to work for your brain best.
Yeah, and there's this interesting thing where like different meditations will have a different effect. Like some meditations I do not make my brain calmer. They make it more active. But that's kind of the purpose of the meditation. So one of the analogies that comes to mind is it's kind of like CrossFit for your brain. Like in CrossFit or in different types of exercise routines, you do mix it up on purpose to give your body new types of stresses, new types of ways of working out, to push your boundaries, to try new things, to put yourself in different positions. And the idea is the same with brain training. You want to be able to do different types of things. And it sounds like, you do that too, like intuitively, is practice these different things. I think that's important, to try different practices and see how they affect your brain and expand your toolbox. I think that's an important key.
These wearables, like I've got one of these smartwatches, which has been a great tool for me. I thought it'd be quite a big distraction actually, but I just wanted to get it to see how it operated, and it's helped me put more energy into certain things of like my health, exercise or meditation even. And it's been a great tool for that. So I assume this, FocusCalm headband and technology like these will become more and more commonplace as we move forward.
Yeah, certainly. I think that people who are interested in their mind get a lot out of understanding themselves and doing these experiments. And then there's a whole other group of people who just want to feel better. And maybe they don't have a background in meditation, but they want something a bit more tangible, a bit more gamified. The games tend to be our most popular type of content because it's a fun way to engage in brain training, to be more focused and calm. It doesn't have to be so serious. You don't have to sit in full lotus in a cave anymore. You can play these brain games and get similar effects. And I would say that the meditation traditions are their own complete traditions that have their own paths and their own outcomes. And what we're saying is there are tools all over the place. Meditation's a tool, breathing is a tool, sports psychology is a tool, neurofeedback, which is the process of learning from your own brain information, is a tool. and we respect them all. And what we do is put them together in unique ways so that people can have powerful experiences and see what works for them. But, if people do want to, experience deep meditation and really go down that path, there's plenty of incredible resources from beautiful traditions there for you. If you want to have a gamified approach to train your brain to be more focused and calm and get all these different tools and gamified ways of doing it, then this is a solution for you.
Yeah, yeah. The games side of things is quite fascinating too, because there's a lot of games on phones these days and things that distract us and quite addictive too. But the games that you're talking about are more, I guess, problem-solving, solution-finding games that are, provide that challenge without being so addictive in nature, I guess.
Yeah, and there's another category of games that we haven't touched on yet, which are our calming games. So there are the focus games, the brain teaser type games that people might be familiar with. And there's a whole other category of games that are completely controlled by your brain. So, for example, there might be a campfire that's glowing, and the more you relax and focus your mind and increase your FocusCalm score, the bigger the campfire starts to grow. So you're controlling this campfire with your brain. And the purpose is to get the campfire to grow. And then you start melting these marshmallows that are hanging over the campfire. And you're trying to melt as many marshmallows as possible. Or in another game, maybe you're making a rocket ship fly higher by focusing and calming your mind and scoring more points. So it's entirely driven by your brain. And this kind of feedback process of entering that state continuously to practice entering a state of focus and calm in this gamified, eyes open way seems to be a really engaging way to get this practice in.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's what about the games of focus? You talk about finding calmness within challenge. How does that kind of work with those games?
It's very difficult. It's very
I
difficult.
don't know, because it must be hard when you're sort of in a challenging sort of puzzle or something like that.
Yeah.
To then also bring in calmness while you're doing that.
Yeah. So imagine being a race car driver going 200 miles an hour, and you're squeezing the steering wheel as tight as you can, and you're really panicked to not make a mistake. Your bodies can only take that for so long. Your mind can only take that for so long. And so the reason why the F1 drivers learn to be focused and calm is so that they can sustain high performance for longer and they can keep their cool. And, you and I may not be a race car driver. I know you might be. I'm not a race car driver, but work is stressful. Life can be stressful. We hit these events in our lives. We bump into these experiences that aren't always calm. And so the ability to remember that you can stay in the driver's seat and be calm, even when the world is maybe a little crazy, is a really important skill. And so these focus games that kind of these focus games that demand your attention in a similar way that life circumstances might demand your attention. If you don't do anything, your FocusCalm score will go down, almost definitely, because they're just really engage your brain. But if you can remember to try to stay in your center, you can learn how to approach these experiences with more grace and ease. And that's what we're trying to teach people. Is you can train your brain to be calm, you can work on your executive functions, and you can combine these to be mentally efficient with your resources so that you can move through your day with more focus and more calm.
Yeah. Where do you see wearables like this going?
They're going to be more ubiquitous. They're going to be more integrated into the things that we use each day. The feedback is just too important and valuable, and will continue to get better as the technology improves. But I can see a future where you have data on your mental well-being, and you're getting useful information to help you make changes in your behavior throughout your day, or maybe getting recommended practices for you to do in real time so that you can spend more of your mental energy and more of your internal state in a positive way. We already do that with the headband, but the headband is set up as a training tool. So we recommend people use it 15 minutes a day. In fact, after 20 sessions, what we found in our studies is significant reductions in anxiety, burnout, and improvements in well-being after 20 sessions, each session being 15 minutes. So it's really like a workout that you do.
So it's not something you wear all day like a smartwatch.
No. Yeah. Some people do wear it for, while they do their work and answer their emails and are kind of tracking their brain, but it's more about it as a training tool. So I think in the future, we'll be able to find ways to make it even more low profile so people are getting useful information about their brains throughout the day.
Interesting to use it while you sleep too, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Has there been studies on that?
Some people will do that. The current design isn't purposed for wearing it to sleep. But some people are
testing
doing experiments. Yeah, and our team is looking into that as well.
Fascinating stuff, mate. Well, so this the website for that is FocusCalm.com. Is that right?
Yeah, nice and simple. FocusCalm.com.
We'll stick a link in the show notes today, guys. What about yourself, Max? Where can people reach out to you and find out more about you and what you're doing?
Ooh, well, I think the FocusCalm Instagram is a great place to go to see different updates on what the team is doing.
Yeah.
And I'm tagged occasionally, though I'm actually not super active on Instagram. I do post occasionally on LinkedIn. I think that's another really great place to stay up to date on what FocusCalm is up to, and also more broadly, like BrainCo as a whole organization. Yeah. We have applications for prosthetics for people with limb differences. Mm-hmm. We have applications for education to teach students about neuroscience and themselves, and of course about FocusCalm. And then I'll post occasionally about different perspectives that have to do with the mind and well-being and performance. So LinkedIn is another good place to stay in the loop on what we're working on.
That's cool, Max. No, thank you. So check it out at focuscalm.com and, get online with LinkedIn and Instagram as well. Max, any final thoughts?
No, I just want to leave people with this idea that you can change your brain, that you are in the driver's seat, and for your entire life, until the very end, you can impact your mindset and your brain, and it is in your hands. So whatever tools or techniques you want to use or you end up using, I applaud that. And I think we've put together a really interesting tool for people who like science and data, who want to see information about themselves, want things to be quantified or gamified. If you're that type of person, then you're really going to dig FocusCalm. But the take-home message is you can change your brain. You're not stuck. And we provide tools for people to become unstuck and to enhance their internal capabilities to be more focused, more calm. And what does that mean? That means you get to lead your life in a more effective, calm, and enjoyable way. And so if people are interested in mental performance or well-being, I really suggest they go to focuscalm.com and learn more about what we're up to.
Have a look into it. Yeah. No, I love it, mate. Thanks so much for coming on today. Really appreciate your time.
Of course. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. And guys listening, check it out at thehiddenwhy.com. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. I hope you love what you're hearing. If you like this episode, guys, or any of the episodes that you're listening to here at The Hidden Why, please do me a favor by sharing it. You can share it with your families. You can share it with your loved ones. You can do that by using your favorite social media channels, using the icons on the platform that you're listening to The Hidden Why podcast. Also, guys, if you're a fan of the show, please connect with me. Connect with me at thehiddenwhy.com. I love to hear from you. I love to converse with the people that listen to this show to find out what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, and perhaps if they have any questions or feedback for the show as well. You can stay up to date with all that I'm releasing here, guys. I do a solo show every Monday, a 3-minute thought every Thursday. I do 2 interviews a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and a book review every Friday. You can stay up to date with all that by subscribing to my newsletter at thehiddenwhy.com. Just enter your email address there, and also subscribing to the podcast on the platform that you choose to listen to your podcasts. You can also support the show, guys, by using the Amazon links at thehiddenwhy.com. So if you like books, you can get all the books that I review there, and anything else really that you like to purchase through Amazon. So use that link, it helps support the show. And we've also got a deal with Audible, guys. Audible is a fantastic way to listen to all your favorite books. We've got a deal with them so you can get 2 free books when you subscribe, or subscribe to a 30-day free trial. So check that out again at thehiddenwhy.com. Guys, that's it from me. You know what to do. Go out there, breathe more passion into every single moment. Do everything with greater purpose. And in doing so, you will discover your hidden why. This is The Hidden Why. My name is Lee Martinuzzi. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon.